So thank you for coming to Fairhaven's maybe 4th Meet the Candidates Day here at the library in town Fairhaven. I'm Joe, I'm the town manager. I'll be doing my best to moderate today. We'll jump right into it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Mr. Heyer and then work our way around, ask each candidate to introduce themselves and then why they're running and why they're qualified for that position. So Mr. Heyer, if you'd like to start.
Yeah, I'm Kurt Heyer and I'm a member of the Slate Valley School Board. And I'm running for my 2nd term, and I have been an utter and complete failure. I mean, I finally, the other night, I had my first motion, substantive motion, it passed. And I wanted to throw my arms up and say, let the record show. I've wanted there to be a curriculum committee. That got shot down. I wanted to take another look at proficiency grading. That got shot down. Really concerned about restraint and seclusion that was going on in the district. Nobody else seemed to care, although after I raised my ruckus, they did do some training. Then come to find out it was, it's happening in upstate New York, and the New York Post got into it, the governor got into it. I couldn't get anybody to do anything. So it's been frustrating for me. And but I ask questions, and I think, there aren't a lot of people who want to go to these things and ask questions, and I guess that's my role. So that's what I'll keep doing.
Thank you, Kurt. Maureen?
My name is Maureen Hall, and I am running for a trustee of public funds, which I have been doing since, I think, 1998. There's 3 of us that are in charge of monies that people have left to the town, specifically for Cedar Grove Cemetery, the West Street cemeteries, and the library. So it's a matter of handling the money that's there, making the best investments, and my 31 plus years in banking, I think, helped me accomplish that goal.
Thank you.
Dennis Reed, I'm running for the 3-year select board open seat. 56, I've been in Fairhaven all my life. I grew up with my father that was involved with the town, very dedicated father, so we lived the town life up until 98 when he retired as a town foreman. At that point, I joined the state of Vermont as a fleet mechanic, worked my way up through the ranks to supervisor. 26 years in, I had to early retire due to spine injuries, but very much enjoyed the state of Vermont. I've got a lot of output not only on the fleet but on the road maintenance. I feel we do need some work on winter maintenance in Fairhaven here, and maybe some other things during the summer that need to be looked at, questions asked.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Johnny Brusso. I'm running for the 3-year seat. I'm 37, born and raised here. Moved out here in my 20s for a little while. Came back. Got 2 daughters. One's at a friend's house, and this is my youngest. Been working at the Rutland Area Christian School now for about 4.5 years or so. And I just think people my age should be more engaged in town business, town affairs, things that everybody should be involved in. It's a small town. We got to lean on each other, and the more transparent we can all be, the more honest and open we can be, and just getting young people engaged. Because when we all think about it, these are the guys that are going to be handling this thing in 30 years. So if we set them up to fail, they're gonna. So the best thing we can do is do the best we can now, so that when this generation comes in, they got a real good foundation. And that's about it.
Let's see.
Hi, my name is Seal Hunt, and I've been on the library board a long time. And I love the library. I think that literacy is such an important skill. Literacy impacts a person's whole life. People who can't read usually end up in prison, or so the statistics tell us. So, and I am excited that the library addresses the needs of all of our citizens. We've really been working to add more programs for youngsters to give them a love of learning, making the library a great place to come, a fun place to come, a welcoming place to come. And I just really like to encourage that work. I would love if by the end of the year, our little crack in the side is fixed. So I'm here one more year hoping that we can address those issues and find a mason who is approved to do that work. So.
Thank you, everybody. I do have two candidates that they had to be out of town for work, so they provided a brief statement, both of them, so if you don't mind, I'd like to read that on their behalf. The first one is from Mr. Keith Heyer. Mr. Heyer says, "My name is Keith Heyer."
No relation, by the way.
No relation. Thank you. I've been a resident of Fairhaven for nearly my whole life. I've been living back in town since 2021 after my father's passing. Before that, my family and I lived in Rutland. Professionally, I work as a bus driver and am a para-educator at Pulteney High School, where he's responsible for helping students with special needs and or just general education students with academics. I'm an assistant varsity coach at Fairhaven in the fall, and in the spring I'm an assistant varsity baseball coach at Pulteney High School. Over the past few years I've been deeply involved in our community, as I am a member now of the select board as well. In the past I've umpired softball, helped coach softball, basketball, to name a few things. By doing all these things, I've learned patience is a virtue, and learned how no matter what you do sometimes in life, you can't please everyone. I'm looking forward to your vote on March 3rd to the Board of Selectmen. My goal is to ensure that Fairhaven remains top priority for the long haul, and while addressing the upcoming challenges with higher taxes, infrastructure, and many needs of Fairhaven, I'm excited about the opportunity to serve my neighbors in this capacity. And Mr. Keith Heyer is running for a one-year term on the select board. The next one you have Mr. Ronald Stack. He's running for the library board. He says, "Hi, my name is Ronald G. Stack. I'm running as a write-in candidate for Fairhaven Free Library trustee. I've been a trustee for 3 years and have been working on a couple of projects and would like to see them through to the finish. Thank you for your consideration." Ronald Stack.
Note that he's running for the 3-year write-in.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a 3-year, Seal just reminded me, it's a 3-year write-in for the library trustees. Okay, now for the hard part. Maureen, if it's okay, I'd like to start with you. I'm going to start a question with you.
Okay.
Because I know that the trustees, you guys are responsible for the funds for our cemeteries. I'm curious, what do we use that money for, or what do the trustees use that money for?
The principal stays there and the town gets the interest.
Oh, that's all of it?
You get all of the interest that's earned,
Yeah, I
yeah.
didn't know that. I thought maybe you were out there doing some maintenance or something.
No.
Okay, it shows what I know.
The town gets all of the interest money.
Okay, well, that's easy.
Your oversight on that? Your oversight on that?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay, that was a softball. Thank you. We'll jump back to Kurt. Kurt, do you want to talk a little bit more about the curriculum committee you'd mentioned, or your proficiency grade?
Well,
PBL.
yeah,
Just say
the
PBL.
curriculum committee, we had one when we had a high school district. Our high school board had a curriculum committee, and we were, I taught there for 35 years. Our social studies department had to come before the curriculum committee, answer some questions. If we wanted to, it was bottom up. If we wanted to propose some new curriculum, we went to them, and then they went to the full board if they approved it. And we've got a good curriculum director. Casey O'Mara is excellent. So I'm quite confident in him. And sometimes when I bring up this stuff, there's the sort of defensiveness. But I'm thinking, well, we might not always have him for a curriculum director, and I just think there should be some oversight. Proficiency-based grading, I don't know if I want to get into that right now, but it's basically 1 to 4 grading. I mean, that's the meat of it, instead of 1 to 100 grading. And if you think of it as a thermometer, you've got cold, you've got chilly, you've got warm, you've got hot. I mean, who would want a thermometer with only 4 settings on it? It's just not as granular. And I found when I was still teaching that kids didn't seem to be real motivated by it. Parents didn't seem to be real motivated. Teachers everybody was happy getting 3s out of 4. And I seemed to be the only one who was really not happy with that. And some of the top students were driven to get 4s. And the other thing was teachers were very inconsistent about what a 4 meant to them. So it was hard to know what you had to do to get a 4. So I hope that answers your question, sort of briefly.
Would you be in favor of going back to A, B, C, D, and E? Which is
Yeah,
much simpler?
Absolutely. And Maureen asked me a question once. I think I saw her outside the bank or whatever. She asked me, why did we get away from valedictorians and salutatorians? They had worked for so many years of their lives for that, and why did we get rid of? And I agree. I think that we should be rewarding our best students, and call me old school, but that's just the way I feel.
Does anybody in the crowd have a question for Kurt or Maureen?
Are we making this dog so colorful?
I have a few, Kurt.
Do me a favor, introduce yourself.
Chad VJ.
Chad, right?
I sit on the select board here as a citizen. 3 questions. So the first one is related to the curriculum committee. I see in certain parts of our country, curriculum committees are imposing curriculum that has specific agendas in accordance to their community climate. What protections are there for the school if the school board takes on curriculum? Like, it's what qualifies the school board to do that? Essentially having, I assume, some power of controlling the curriculum. What protections are in place or should be in place so that there's a balance where it is oversight but also not too powerful as to control what the school's teaching?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of look at that from the other perspective, and I'm glad you mentioned oversight, that we're being elected to oversee. As I said, I have a lot of confidence in the person that we have. In terms of taking over the curriculum, I remember our curriculum committee that I referred to wanted us, we'd gotten into teaching a lot of psychology, sociology, that sort of thing, and they came, or they asked us to come to them, and they gave us a broad direction. They said, we want more civics and history, government and history. And it was a broad directive. They said, you do it. You figure out how to do it. And that sort of has become the model in my mind, just broad directives. I did say something that made one of our board members kind of flip out. I mentioned the word woke curriculum. And he said, "What's woke? Can you define woke? Can you, you know?" And if I see a history curriculum with way more 1619 than 1776, that to me is woke. So, you know, I think we should cover 1619. I don't think we should cover up the uglier parts of our history, but I don't think we should cover up the parts of our history we should be proud of either. So, 2 more questions, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Proficiency-based learning.
Yeah.
You also do work in connecting kids to colleges, right? With proficiency-based learning, what are the pros and cons on preparing our students for college? Has it been a hindrance to our student population, or a benefit, or neutral?
Most of my clients are from India, Vietnam, Dubai, but also a lot from California. Just picked up one from Glendale, California, from the Midwest. I've looked at their transcripts. One of the first things I do is I say, "Send me your transcripts." I don't see proficiency grading on their transcripts. I don't have a lot of Vermont clients. I wish I had more. Sometimes I think my political activities hurt my local business. But I have heard people come to us and say, my kid is having a harder time getting into college. And it's not because of their preparedness or lack thereof. It's because the admissions office doesn't know what to do with that.
Yeah. And my last question is, what are your thoughts on Act 73? And how should Slate Valley fall into the consolidation of things? Where should we land on that?
Yeah, a couple of my initiatives that I had hoped for, I've kind of backed off because I'm thinking we could be in a couple of years in a whole different, you know, school district. If we do the foundation formula, which I'm in favor of, then in order to have equitable funding, we would need to redraw the districts, and we would need to make them bigger districts. The school boards, the School Superintendents Association has said their sweet spot is right around 4,000. Well, the latest proposal I saw is, you know, more like 2,000. And getting rid of school choice, which, you know, tuition towns, which I'm not in favor of. But that's stuff that doesn't really relate to this district. But I think they should be bigger. I think it's the only way you can do foundation formula. And forgot what else I was gonna say. But 4,000, you know, we've got 1,200. Rutland City's got about 2,000. Mill River has about 800. That would be 4,000 right there. Us and Mill River and Rutland. But I don't think that's what they're looking at. They're looking at our current district plus, I think, Poultney, Wells, and Tinmouth maybe, Ira. I think that's what they're looking at in the House Education Committee. So, I don't know. It's just anybody's guess. It just keeps changing.
Mr. Reed,
Yes, what?
it's your time to shine. So, you talked a little bit about road maintenance. you want to expand on your thoughts?
Sure.
What we need to do better and where you plan to improve?
Since we got some snow out here, we'll cover the winter maintenance that I think we can improve on. So I think the current guidelines that the select board has given the road crew is only 2 guys out, or 1 to 2 guys out on weekends, nights, how I'm kind of understanding it, due to cost of overtime. The problem that happens with that is when we don't properly care for this road right when the storm starts, you don't get the salt down in time, you don't get the brine working, so then we get roll down, like we have on multiple streets today. We have multiple streets with roll down. You don't see Main Street with roll down. Most of that's open. That's because the town truck was on it quick, got the salt on it. Where if you had your whole crew come in, you can get your roads open right off, get your salt on. Maybe you don't need the whole crew, but you need more than 2. Some streets aren't even getting maintained during that 4-hour period. Mine being one of them, my neighborhood, up River Street, there's 2 that don't get maintained well at all, if at all. With that, when they do come down, the big storm, we had the ice storm on a Friday, and then we had a snowstorm on a Monday. I can't imagine what the cost was to try to get the roads back open by the next week with the salt usage, the equipment usage, the diesel fuel, the overtime. They had to put a lot of hours in to get the roads back open because we didn't come out on the weekend. Same thing today. We're getting better now. The sun's coming out during the week, so the roads will open up a little better in the sunny areas. That's winter maintenance. Your streets, we're going to be going into spring really soon. We're going to get a lot of runoff. Not a single drop inlet. Maybe Washington Street has a drop inlet open now that they got one side open. So we're going to end up with a lot of ponds where the water don't have nowhere to go because don't know where the drop inlets are currently. They're froze up, froze down. The guys don't have time to do that, plus try to open the roads up when we don't maintain them on the weekend properly. So by the time we get that figured out and opened up, we're into spring, summer maintenance. It seems like we're behind the 8 ball on mowing. The trees are growing over the guardrails to the point of they're hanging in the road.
Your turn.
I just think we need a better plan going into winter, summer. We got to try to plan ahead and take some time to do that.
Now we like to make the stuff colorful.
I'd like to ask, are we one of the towns that are, like, we got a salt shortage, I've heard, in the state. Have we been affected by that locally?
We are ahead of the game on that.
Well, at least that's a plus.
Is that due to vendor or is that due to what?
My
Let's
coloring
do
book.
Well, let's keep the questions to you guys.
Just
So this is your time to
why do
shine,
we have
right?
salt?
Yep.
I was just curious if we
So
were
does anybody
affected
have
by
other
it or
questions for Mr. Heyer?
Mr. Reed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Reed, thank you. You guys make it too easy. Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
here we go.
Oh my god, this is so cute.
What are you thinking about the 1%?
What am I thinking about the 1%? I'm thinking we're about to the point where we don't have a choice. We have a lot of work to do without any funds to cover it. Boards previous for years, and I'm going back like 30 years, when I was on the fire department for 25 years, we had to fight for every penny we could get. We're not even level funding. We're not keeping up with inflation as years have gone on. I asked that question to see where we're kind of at and how far behind we've been. So I don't think we have a question. I don't think it's really that fair to the businesses. I know that's a little on them, but we have a wonderful town here with a lot to offer, with all our businesses that we have, right from the grocery stores all the way down to the marijuana dispensaries. We have a lot to offer that the other towns just don't have that to offer. So I think the 1% would work fantastic for us. for that part. For the businesses, I know they're not so happy about that.
I think this is a sausage dog.
This is
Dad, I think this is the hot dog.
What is your understanding and your experience with grants and grant matches?
My understanding, what it is, we hire the town manager to do that type of thing, because I'm not college educated to do the grants. Grant matching, I understand a lot of grants are 50% match, some grants are not. But I do know if you don't use the grant properly, you have to pay it back with a penalty. And if you, say you get a grant for a truck, a piece of equipment, or something like that, if you don't get the life term out of that, you have to start paying back interest on that. So I do understand a little on grants. Grant writing, I am not a grant writer whatsoever, at all.
I didn't necessarily mean that you would write the grant, but what I'm saying is before you would vote for the town manager to apply for a grant, and before you would approve, obviously the grant matching, what do you understand the research and financial responsibility and understanding on the board is before the vote, which is incumbent on the board?
Now you're talking, Lillian, just to look into having Joel look for a grant to do the park project? Is that what, a parking lot area? Is that what you're saying?
Let's say, for example, he wants a grant for Project X.
Who?
Okay. Joe, he comes and says, this is a project we want to do.
Joe don't pick the jobs to be done. That's the select board's job to do that.
But oftentimes he comes and says, I'd like to apply for this grant and I need the board's permission.
Yeah, so it would be a project that the town had already planned on doing. I don't think Joe pulls them out of his hat.
What I'm saying is, what do you believe the select board and your responsibility as a proposed select board member is, that you would understand the financial impact on the town of a grant match?
Well, you have to plan that ahead, Lillian. Your budget's your budget. You have to work within your budget's means. So if you have a line item for sidewalk repairs, and a grant comes open for sidewalk repairs, that's fantastic. We can cut back. We might be able to get more done with that same amount of money. So we definitely go after a grant for that, and if it's available, and if it works within our means to have that done.
And following up on this is a follow-up to that, when you say you look to see what's there in the streets and sidewalks and reserve funds, would you look to reserve funds before voting?
Daddy, look at it.
What do you mean by that, Lillian?
Does it look like the same?
Well, number one, there's no reserve funds. So at this point in the budget, I don't see where there's reserve funds for anything.
No, I'm not necessarily saying reserve funds in the budget now because they're flat funded. But do you understand where where reserve funds should be in the general reserve fund?
Where they should be?
Outlined? Because you said there are no reserve funds.
They're all at zero. All the reserve funds are at zero. For zero, what's there, and zero, what's asked for, correct? Am I wrong? What I see in the budget, I don't see reserves.
I'm saying outside of the budget. Here's the reserve fund, and the budget is flat funded to put more to it. The rainy day fund is here, the reserve fund, streets and sidewalks, etc. What you're referring to is flat funded zero, is that in this budget, proposed budget, there's no money going into the rainy day fund. My question to you is not in the proposed budget, but would you as a select person look at, before voting, what is in the actual reserve fund so as not to totally deplete it?
You have to, Lillian. I mean, you would have to pull, that's what it's there for.
But you just said that you didn't know that there was one.
Okay, Lillian, thank you for your question.
No, I'm trying to ask.
I know, and we're moving on. We're moving on. Does anybody else have a question?
I would like to know the answer to that question.
Thank you for your question. Does
Okay,
anybody
thank
else
you.
have a question?
That goes back to transparency. Thank you.
Daddy, there's a hole right
Mr.
here.
Crusoe.
There's a hole
Oh,
right
you
here.
had mentioned More engagement. So this is important for our community and all communities.
There we go. I think.
How do you plan on engaging our younger residents? Because it's sometimes hard to get those 20 and 30-year-olds, even 40-year-olds engaged.
I think one way we could start is, I'm not sure who makes the posts for the Town of Fairhaven page.
Daddy, put them all right in here.
I know, crazy. But it seems like there is everything's one-sided. People will ask questions, and whoever's running that page, I've looked back 3-4 months. I haven't seen a single reply to a question. Like, just for example, you put up like the graphs of where the money was going, or whoever runs the page put that up 2 days ago. There was 4 or 5 questions. Why is there a jump in this? What is this? What is this? And I think whoever's running that page should take 5-10 minutes out of their day just to answer people's questions. Because unfortunately, we live in a small town. So when we don't get answers to questions from our officials, the rumor mill runs wild. And we all know that. So I think by having a more open dialect between whoever's running that page, maybe start a select board page where people can ask questions, because not everybody can make it to a select board meeting, you know? Just recently, I'm having to rework my whole schedule of work so I can do this. Because I feel this is important. I feel it's important for people my age to get engaged now before it's too late. So that's just one example.
Get in there. Oh yeah.
Any questions for
Ding ding.
Mr. Russo?
How you get this in?
So, I guess I'll preface this. I think one of the reasons why I don't engage all too often in social media is because it can evolve very quickly, rather than having a face-to-face conversation on, where things stand. And one thing that I did notice, because I do pay attention and I see the concerns, and then I take those concerns into consideration. One of the things you had mentioned on social media as a part of your campaign was making changes to fiscal mismanagement. And I'm curious, is that something that perhaps through that rumor mill of not knowing, it's kind of inspired you and angered you a little bit? Or are there things that you feel the town is paying for that we shouldn't be paying for? And what changes would you suggest?
I think one of the big things is that free parking. And I've been told there was a grant match, and then either way. However it was funded, we got grant money, cool. But the bottom line is we have snow 6 months a year.
Daddy, can I watch videos on
We're paying, like he said, we are paying more in diesel fuel, more in overtime hours, maintenance of those machines,
Dad, what's your number?
to keep those parking spaces open.
Dad.
And we lost parking spaces. Excuse me.
Can I watch something on your phone?
I just don't think it was necessary. And that money could have been put to any number of things. I mean, it's a free parking. It's a parking lot for visitors to come in and use. We have, I don't know how many apartments above all the businesses in Main Street. People rely on, they rely on it. And it just seemed unnecessary.
Daddy, can I watch something on your phone?
No, you can wait. You don't need a screen in your face all day.
I want to watch something.
So, what is your opinion of the 1%?
I understand why it's being proposed, but that also goes back to his question. We might not even be here if things weren't done already. Am I in favor of it? No, I'm not. But I also am not in favor of raising property taxes or any other means. I understand how we got there. Maybe I don't. I want to understand how we got here to where we even had to do this. Like, I get we need the money, but like personally, I wish there was a way we could spread it to where it's not going to affect everybody, but that ship's sunk. So, I mean, I'm hoping there's a way. If it passes, it passes. If it fails, it fails. It's failed twice already, so obviously it's not a popular option among voters in town. So,
Do you have any ideas for something else that could be done?
As just a town resident, I can come up with, without being able to actually sit down and be involved, look at everything, see what we can do. I'm thankful the town accountant has reached out to me personally. I'm gonna go meet with her next week. She's gonna give me just a rundown, give me all the information that I need. I'll be the first to admit, I'm very new to all this kind of stuff. The past couple of months, I've been watching, select board meetings, reading the reports, just trying to be informed. So I don't want to make a blind assessment now, and then 6 months down the road, me have to be like, oh, well, no, we gotta, I don't want to say something that I can't back. If I can't truly believe this is what we have to do to get out of this, then, I don't want to back myself in a corner to where I have to say something that I don't fully believe in, or I don't truly understand, the whole scope of it. I'm hoping once I get some more information and read into it and see what we can do. Money's already been spent. Some ships have already sailed. I'm just hoping from here on we can collectively figure out a way out of this. I know, that's awesome. It's just sad because when I was younger, it was just, you were my he was my teacher. Like, this town was awesome. Block parties, and it was just it was awesome. And it's just,
What's changed? Why isn't it awesome now?
Good question. There's nothing here. We got
things in the park. We have the road food truck thing. We got
Certain.
But what's changed?
Good question. I wish I knew. But I'll tell you, there's nothing for kids here, man.
No.
We don't have a rec center. We used to have a ice rink in the park. We lost our bowling alley. We had Loft 89 downtown. Guy who owned that got his money and cut tail and ran. There were things here, and it just seems like nobody wants to invest in our kids anymore.
We used to have more kids.
Yeah, but that don't mean.
Might be part of it.
Yeah, but that don't mean just because there's less kids we give up on the ones that are here.
Right.
Mr. Schultz.
Speaking of investment in kids, where do you stand on, my understanding is the rec budget was cut in the budget, the proposed budget. Where do you stand on that?
I don't think we should. If it was fiscally necessary, I get it, but then we should be looking at ways to find funds for that. Like, these guys are our future. And not every parent can pay to put their kids in hockey in the winter, or pay the $80 a week for Boys and Girls Club during the summer. Like, not everybody can do that. So I'm for finding ways to fund any sort of recreational things in town because it'll only make it better. And, you know, we've lost, just in the past 3 to 5 years, we've lost like 2,000 residents. The state is just, we're becoming a renter state, unfortunately. There's no economic growth here besides big chain stores and stuff like that. You know, it was, what was it, when they first wanted to do the recreational marijuana, one of the big things was, oh, think of all the tax money we're gonna get from all the revenue and all that. Well, it's been what, 3-5 years? Where's that? 3?
So that is one thing that the 1% will capture.
I mean,
To get us.
I get it. I can understand. No, I hear you. I can understand. I might not like it, but it might be necessary, and that's one thing about a democracy is you may not like certain things, but if it passes, it passes. And I don't want property taxes to go up. That for a fact. Like you can't even afford a home as it is. And then for property taxes to get another 3 to 5% hike on it, it's just going to make more Vermonters leave the state.
So, what would you do to curb the overspending on the needs versus wants?
Needs.
Like, I need to fix the pipes. I want a big screen TV for football.
Well, you got a phone, you know, our infrastructure comes first.
Okay, because I'm just making sure like we don't end up with another free parking.
Yeah.
Or rec center upstairs that's like $1 million already.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, we have a beautiful theater sitting above the laundromat over there. Why are we not using that? That could bring money in. You could have the high school drama club do plays there, sell $5 tickets. There's so many options that we could be exploring, but I just don't understand why we're not.
Thank you.
What condition is the upstairs theater?
I mean, the last time I was up there was about 5 years ago. Looked pretty nice to me.
I've never been up there.
It might need it might need to be modernized with some lighting systems or a sound system or something.
I grew up in this town since...
You didn't know there's a theater up there?
Since Johnson was president.
Yeah, there's a theater.
And I didn't even know that really existed.
There is
that it was in operable enough condition to even use.
I mean, it might need a little, Windex and Pine Sol,
Yeah, I didn't even know it was there until they put the audio on.
Privately owned.
Which Johnson?
Linden.
Is there
Yeah.
an elevator there?
I don't know. I know the town doesn't own it.
Have to be accessible.
Yeah, understandable, but
Guys, let's bring it back. So Ivan, that is a piece of private property. The town does not own that. And has
Well, there you go.
another question.
Dad, look at the
This question's for both candidates running for select board. What do you see as the single biggest challenge facing Fairhaven, and what would you hope to do to try to solve that?
Mr. Reed, let's let you go first because Mr. Busso just talked kind of a lot.
Might need a drink.
Give you a break.
Funding, absolutely funding. To be able to come up with the funds without all of us getting raped with taxes. To get the infrastructure with roads, water, sewer, buildings. I know we're trying to renovate I don't know how many year-old town office, firehouse, municipal building. We're dumping a lot of money into stuff we need to fund, absolutely just
Dad, I let the air out because
everything
there
is
was
by
a
far the
little
biggest
gap.
thing on my plate. And then it goes from there to maintenance, proper maintenance, and road maintenance, and vehicle maintenance. And
nope, we hit it. Funding. And like John just said, wants, needs. we need to focus on needs,
I can't
get our house in order.
Oh, I see it now.
And then once we do that, then we can start thinking about wants. But we need to take care of what needs to be taken care of. And to put this roughly, not worry about cosmetic. Like, I get the town hall needed work, but when it's feeding your kids or buying a flat screen TV, you know, we gotta get our house in order.
Okay, anybody else?
Let's go up. Nom, nom, nom.
Budget before we break up.
Yeah.
Sure, we still gotta do seal, but sure, go ahead.
Celia,
Go right ahead.
just that last year it was like the per pupil, per weighted pupil increase was like 3.6 something. And that passed. It passed second time, I think. We're under that now, so slightly under it. So we're hoping it'll pass on the first time.
So what's the increase this time?
It's like 3.4, something like that. It was 3.6 something last year.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Our education tax will go down.
Yeah.
Well, actually, with the governor's bailout, it may go down.
That'd be good news.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally to seal again, I was interested in, so you touched on literacy. I was hoping you could maybe stump for the library and tell us some of the programs you have planned for the coming few months.
Well, we've really increased the number of children's programs. We brought children's authors. We've had them come and read their books, book signings. We have a book signing coming up on February 25th, How to Raise a Beaver. It's actually an adult book, but we've invited children too because it's just an interesting concept. We continue between the Friends and the library. We try to provide programs at least one a month, a lot more. We have a lot more programs. We have we have the book club. We have Friends of the Library. And the Friends are also fundraisers, so one of our favorite activities, of course, is making the angels, because the sale of the angels is what allows us to put on these literacy programs. So yeah, a lot, we're doing a lot with our new librarian, Jenny, is really looking for input. She doesn't know everybody in town, and she doesn't know everybody's genres or favorite books. So if you have a favorite book or something, please come and visit with Jenny. Or Mary Kay is our children's librarian. She taught first grade for 30-some years. So yeah, they're really focused on the youth. Still providing for everyone else and meeting their needs, but really a big push in literacy for younger students.
And the town needs to thank the library. They let us hold a Lego club here, and that's been a big hit for our younger kids.
Yeah, and I think they're still up there. The last I was in there, they had, there was a pink flamingo made by Jeff's niece.
The driver saying
Yeah. Yeah, they have, if you bring an idea, the library just received $10,000 from Andrew Carnegie Foundation to put on programs, to basically spend it any way that we want to. And because of that, we've been doing a little bit more in-depth research about the history of the library. We just dug out our town meeting reports that made us a library on March 2nd, 1886. We've had a library charter since 1779, but it wasn't a public library. So yeah, I think there's a lot of fun things going on at the library, and the board is pretty open, as are our librarians, to offering programs that would be of interest to to folks. We work collaboratively a lot with the Historical Society. We're going to be having the Historical Society and the Friends of the Library always get a great big turnout when we talk about rattlesnakes, because Rutland County is the only county in Vermont that has poisonous snakes. So there's postcards upstairs. I mean, we've been putting information out. We want a big crowd for the rattlesnake presentation. We do have herpetologists coming from the state.
Do they bring a rattlesnake?
They were requested, and many of us said no.
Maybe they could have somebody dresses up as a rattlesnake.
We have plenty of photos.
Yeah.
Jeff, I don't know if he wants to bring one, but no, because I know.
I have some photos.
But they hang out at, over there at the Sheldons.
Does anybody have questions for Seal?
Did the library do the story walk in the park?
The person who did the story walk just found it too hard, and by the time we knew that he was giving it up, the friends want to revisit that and do the story walk in the park. The one year we couldn't do it because the park was dug up for putting the lights in. It also sometimes interfered with concerts, and we could knock down, but we're looking to bring the story walk back.
Great. Okay, I'm going to give everybody one last opportunity if you have anything else to say. Sir? None?
Not really. It's gonna be
Sir?
budget thing.
Until summer.
Sir? You good? Seal?
Well, I will say something. Support the library, and you do that by just coming in and taking out books. We offer things like Hoopla, so that you can watch movies or read books, online. There's just a ton of things to do at the library. We hope that you'll come in. If you haven't been upstairs, we are sitting in a National Historic Building, because we're one of only 4 Carnegie libraries in the state of Vermont. And we're very proud of our building. We're very proud of our heritage. And please visit us early and often.
Okay, everybody, thank you for coming down. We appreciate you coming in. Candidates, thank you for coming in and spending your time today.
Thank you, Joe.
All right.